Hello Tube Dwellers and welcome. I'm the Arcadean and this is Mabinogi Duel. Today's deck showcases that most dynamite of rabbits, the White Moon Bunny. If you come to my live streams, you'll know that he was one of my favorites back during the lab testing period, and now that I finally have a card of my very own, I figured, hey, let's make a deck about him. So let's dive in and take a look. If you've come up against this guy before, then you'll know the general structure of this deck. It's very, very simple, very, very basic, very, very low cost. I should say that the deck itself, whilst it is platinum ready, is not perfect, perhaps. An addition of a dark White Moon Bunny would be very beneficial for this deck. You should replace it, if you have one, with one of these skeletons. So a White Moon Bunny and a Dark Moon Bunny, that way you have options. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. So I won't go into a great deal of detail, but we'll just look at them at the bottom here. We have the elephant, obviously elf would be equally as good, hyena, dancer, elf, and two skeletons. Those are the entirety of our creatures, apart from the White Moon Bunny. All of them very basic, very low cost, and no effect, so that the White Moon Bunny's Immortality potion will affect all of them. Then, of course, we have our removal spells, such as Holy Missile and Hunt. Very basic, very defensive, very useful. We're also running an Arrow of Revenge for chip damage and, surprising large amount of damage if the enemy builds up their grave. Then, of course, we have the White Moon Bunny itself, the card around which the deck is built. An Ice Spear for AoE removals, as well as lowering the attack value of our opponents. The creatures we're running don't really have very high attack value, so you do want to remove as many of your opponent's creatures as possible to allow them just to get off as much damage as they can. And then finally, we have a capture. This is to deal with the big creatures, Doom Machines, Jurgens, all that kind of thing. But also, it's a kind of a counter capture. If somebody captures your White Moon Bunny to their side of the field, you can simply bring it right back onto yours. So, very simple deck, very low cost in terms of resources, and honestly also in terms of gold. The only expensive card there really is the White Moon Bunny. So, let's jump into a couple of fights and see how it goes. Okay, first fight. And, oh, dang, okay. My recording software has decided to keep its overlay on top. That's really annoying. I don't want to press the X just in case it turns it off, though. Okay, I apologize for the ugliness of the top. I'll deal with it after this fight. Alright, so we're going up against a guy, one mutant, light and dark. Ooh. I really hope this is a Clockwork Reaper deck. I mean, it's probably Gates of Hell, but I really hope it's Clockwork Reaper. Okay, so removes my elephant with a surprise attack. We're fine with that. Poor resource trade for them. And, yeah, we don't really mind. I suspect they're just going to keep removing stuff. So let's keep throwing out these little one-cost creatures that we don't really mind if they die or not. And we'll keep giving our opponent sort of a target to hit. Decided not to go for the hyena. Interesting. So that's going to give us a solid 4 damage. We'll just charge up here. If it is a Clockwork Reaper deck, then I definitely want to keep enough nature. And then comes a surprise attack. I definitely want to keep enough nature for a capture. Even if it's Gates of Hell, provided it's not one of those weirdly tricksy little, infinite apocalypse zombie Gates of Hell decks, then capture could still come in handy for us. So we'll drop the elf. And we'll just charge up. We'll just keep giving her targets, basically. She either has to use a lot of resources removing them, or she ignores them and we take a damage lead. Now comes another Drag to Hell. Okay. And a Book of Knowledge. So yeah, she's definitely ramping up for 3. Okay. If it is Gates of Hell, then the creatures we're giving her aren't very useful to her, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just keep playing these little creatures, keep baiting out the response. Skull of Dante, yeah, okay, so it's a Gates of Hell deck. That's fine. Alright, so Dante comes out. Gates of Hell is definitely coming out next turn. Well, we just have to hope it's not a tricksy one. Just have to hope it's not one of those annoying little Gates of Hell decks that just immediately kill you on the first round. It doesn't look like it is, since it's using Dante as one of the creatures. So, let's just get ready for the next turn and see what she plays. Alright, so she's discarding a creature, discarding another creature, and now the Gates of Hell. There it is. Okay. So Dante dies, Hyena comes out, Elf comes out, Scholar Dante comes back out. We don't care about any of that. Alright, the Elephant comes out, we don't care. And Doom Machine. Alright, so the only good card that actually, or the useful card for her that came out there was Doom Machine. So we can work with this. Let's capture the Doom Machine onto our side of the field. And now Dante is going to cause an awful lot of damage between the 10, the 8, and the 5. So we will actually won't level up. We'll play the bunny. And that keeps the skeleton and the bunny alive. And we have more than enough dark resources if she kills the Doom Machine finale, that it'll just come back out onto our side of the field. She also doesn't have enough darkness resources to cast Capture, so we're all right on that score as well. Now, if she has Capture, she's going to be able to use it next turn, and that would be unfortunate. But thanks to the Doom Machine's effect, we can now level up and then use our Dark Ice Spear to remove 3 out of those 4 creatures. So boom, 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 and boom. All right, nice. Now Dante and the bunny are just going to keep trading blows. The bunny will win eventually, although it'll take a while. Now, she may have a Dark Capture. No, Holy Spear. All right, interesting choice, because that's just going to bring the Doom Machine right back out for us. And it's going to have its attack value back now, which is quite interesting. So she revives from the grave, which is not really what you want to do when you're a Gates of Hell user. But we've got her biggest card on our side of the field, and it looks like she doesn't really have an answer for that. So we charge up, and we'll revive back into our hand, just in case she does have a Dark Capture and she just hasn't used it for some reason yet. We want to be able to use that. Oh, and she just commits suicide with the Cell Soul. I mean, that's fine anyway. We would just have been able to use our Arrow of Revenge and hit her with the Doom Machine for our victory anyway. So, hooray. Okay, duel number 2. And I removed the ugly little overlay up at the top. All right, so it's another PvP first down player, another Skuld user, no mutants, pure green. All right, so we have to assume that it's going to be a Wave of Life, Wave of Evolution, something like this. Let's find out. Okay, so she charges, yep, places down the Garden of Life. It's never really a good idea to use those. They're very easy to remove, and they have to survive for like 2 or 3 turns before they start making a profit, given the... you have to spend a certain amount of nature in order to summon them, and then they generate nature. So anyway, that allowed us to get up to level 2 much, much faster than she could, which is great. She continues to charge, so she doesn't care too much about taking chip damage. That's quite interesting. So let's play a little bit more, put a little bit more pressure on the board, see if she responds to it now. Okay, so she levels up, and that's a lot of nature. So we will charge, because there's always the possibility this is something weird. My prediction was off. Maybe she was expecting us to do something that we didn't do. I'm not sure. So she continues to charge, and it's healing her up, which is, fine. It basically means that our elf might as well not be on the board. Should we play something else? Let's play another creature. Let's play a skeleton. Just really keep spamming that my prediction was off thing. I'm not sure whether she's taunting us or things aren't working out. There's the Wave of Evolution. Okay. Mad Wolf Hrodvit +1, which is quite interesting. Wolf King Boro, that's actually going to work out quite badly for her, because 3 wolves aren't really a threat for us, and we've still got 3 of our big creatures on the field. Having cast that, she can't cast anything else, so our creatures are absolutely safe, which means that we can just bring out our bunny next turn, which is nice. So let's capture the big creature. That just helps fill up our board a little bit more and prevents any damage coming out on us, and we will drop our bunny down. And then we'll just charge up, because we're actually in a very solid position now. She only has 1 nature resource. She can't really do anything to us at this point. Capture is about the only thing that could stop us now, and she's nowhere close to being able to afford that. Reign of Life comes out. I think she's basically just throwing out cards at this point. We'll just use the Dark Spear and then our creatures will kill the remaining wolves. So bingo, bango, bongo. And then the elf and the elephant will deal with the 2 remaining wolves, which is always nice. Okay. So we get a little bit of damage off there. The wolves go down, and she concedes. Okay. There's really not much you can do once that bunny comes out onto the field. That bunny is dynamite. And that was the White Moon Bunny. It's a very simple deck, but one that you can change in an almost infinite variety of ways in order to suit your own personal playstyle. So if you'd like to copy this deck directly into your game, there's a share code up in the top right hand corner as always. So that's it for me, and that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and a special thank you to all the Arcanauts who have subscribed so far. Until next time, have fun, and good luck.